Hello and welcome to Coffee with the Angels. I'm Katie Kiefer of awakentheinnerlight.com and coffeewiththeangels.com. So if you're new to Coffee with the Angels, it is an exercise that I do where I sit and it's a writing exercise I do in the mornings with my first cup of coffee. And it always applies to me. There's always something here that it speaks to me. It's either something that I'm working on, something that's coming up, questions I have, just kind of whatever is going on for me. So like for today, our topic is show up and get dirty. And this really comes directly on the heels of my listening to the audiobook of Brene Brown's Daring Greatly. And I listened to it really fast, so there's a lot to process still. And I've actually got the hard copy as well as the audiobook, so I will definitely be reviewing it. And it's one I highly recommend, by the way. Any of her work I recommend. But just so you know, that may give you some context for what we're talking about. Today is March 28th, 2018. And so I sit down and I just tune in and I ask either a question or like, what's the message today? What do I need to know that I can share with others? That's kind of just how this process works. And well, that's how it works for me. If you are doing a writing exercise, it may work very differently for you, or we all have our different ways of doing things, and a lot of us will have similarities and some people will be entirely different. And that's fine. Just do what works for you. But I've been called to share these, and so that's what I'm doing. So today, the angels are talking about show up and get dirty. And the angels say, you have this idea that you can go through life and never get dirty. The expectations, propriety, the illusions, all that only hinders your soul, crushes your spirit, and causes you to behave from a space of fear. Life is not a swimming pool, it's a mud pit. You are going to get dirty, you are going to mess up and be imperfect. That is actually part of the beauty of human life on earth. You wait for that icon, celebrity, or whoever it is that seems to have it all together. You see a perfect life fall. You relish in it. Seems cruel, yet the truth is that you want to see the real humanity. Some confirmation they are indeed human. Intellectually, you know that everyone has their issues, struggles, and problems. You run into doubt and shame when you also believe somewhere that it is supposed to be different. You are on earth to grow, learn, assist, teach, and help humanity move forward. All that is dirty work. Growing pains, digging deep to plant, cultivating your growth and that of others. To be truly effective in this endeavor, you must be honest, be real with yourself. Be honest about how you feel, what you fear, what your hopes and desires are. No need to put them in public, no need to put them on public display. Just be honest and real with yourself. That is enough. Be courageous enough to show up in your own life and get dirty. Get real and allow those messy feelings to exist. Let yourself learn from mistakes. Risk being wrong and make corrections and amends when it happens. The purer your intentions, the better. Honest living has no room for deceit. Peel away those layers, even the silent ones, and live your life honestly. Your sacred self requires this of you in order to progress. Show up in your life. Allow the mess. When you do, the cleanup is easier. Seek the lessons, the benefits, the soul's perspective. When you do so, you'll see the beauty and even divinity of showing up and getting dirty. And so that's what the angels have had to say. So you'll see the text of this both in the blog at coffeewiththeangels.com under Show Up and Get Dirty, and also in the Facebook. You'll see it on my Awaken the Inner Light Facebook page. And we also have a brand new group for Coffee with the Angels, and it'll be there as well. So to join the Facebook group for Coffee with the Angels, you can go to, it's Facebook/groups/Coffee with the Angels. And you should be able to find us there. So you're welcome to join that. And it's just a really cool way that we can kind of put everything together and have conversations, which I would love to do. I would love to have these conversations and get your feedback. You know, what are you getting out of this? How is this working for you? Do you have ideas? You know, I would love to hear what you have to say. So this is really an interesting thing because, you know, I went to see my dad, and we inherit belief systems. We have things passed down through genetic memory as well as through just growing up. And they become programs. And these are programs that just run, whether we're aware of them or not. And so I'm, you know, as I read through some of this, I'm like, boy, do I really look for other people to trip and fall? And, you know, maybe I have. Actually, I know that I have at times. But it hasn't felt right. It hasn't felt like me. And that's what's interesting because, you know, as I listen to my parents at times, I'm like, that's all they can see is the negative. They, because of their own, where they are personally and what they've been taught, the idea of actually just being happy for someone else and truly celebrating for someone else seems to be a difficult thing. And that seems to be actually a very common thing, especially for the older generations. And, you know, it's just a matter of when we're honest with ourselves and we can honor ourselves and where we are, that judgment and that, you know, like looking for a crack in the armor or what we perceive as armor, whether it actually is or not, kind of goes away. The jealousy of people who actually live an authentic life or seem to have it all together, whether they actually do or not, that the more we honor ourselves, the less all of that matters and the less we look for it. Because I can see in the past where I have actually looked for things like that, and it was a defense mechanism. And so there's another piece of that right there, is that is actually used as a defense mechanism. It is a way of armoring up, as Brene Brown might say. I don't want to put words in her mouth, but it's just, it feels like that concept that she presents. It feels like that same concept, that it's an armor. So it's like the idea of being on the offense so you don't have to be on the defense. Because, you know, let's face it, if you're stuck in this mindset or belief system of you're either on offense or you're on defense, where's the neutral? Can you step out of the game? Can you step out of that play? And so learning to be courageous and step forward and show up in your own life and allowing yourself to feel what you feel and be where you are and really be honest with yourself. When you walk away from that meeting and go, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. And you're embarrassed. It's a matter of, okay, why? Why did you do that? What was the ultimate underlying factor? What was the motivator? really dive into the depths of that experience and ask why. Because we can walk into a situation and have this whole scripted thing going on, and then we end up running the program, not the script. Not our carefully, I'm going to show up in this new way of being. No, you go in and then the old program starts running. So why is that? It's just a matter of getting in a little deeper and honoring that that's something that just still exists within. And yes, it can suck at times. It really can. But you are where you are. And you are not going to truly learn and grow until you honor where you are. And you just allow yourself to recognize the truth of what is. And so, I've started a truth journal. And it's just a matter of, it helps me work through my processes. It helps me go, okay, this is how I'm feeling in this moment. These are things that happened. This is how I feel. It doesn't matter if it makes logical sense or not. It's a matter of just honoring where you are in the moment, diving in and releasing or shifting the belief systems that are in the way, recognizing the benefit that you're getting from it, and learning how to step forward in a way that is more authentic to your sacred self. It's a process, it's a journey, and it's okay. You are where you are. Just show up and get dirty. So, let's see, is there anything else that... Nope. I'm just listening and kind of reviewing. And okay, so this is catching my eye. Risk being wrong and make corrections and amends when it happens. Perfectionism and always needing to be right is one of the worst things we can do. So can needing to have the last word. So I have absolutely dealt with all of those myself. And it really does just it hinders our progress, because if we're stuck in that mode of we're not allowed to risk being wrong, we're not allowed to be wrong, we're not allowed to make corrections or make amends, anything like that. I mean, if we are stuck in that space, then there's this concept that we have to master everything before we can practice it. Well, we kind of have to practice to be able to master. And some things we might not ever master, but it's an ongoing practice. And so if we are stuck in this perfectionism type perspective or belief system to where, well, we have to have it mastered before we can actually do anything or claim that this is what we're doing or anything like that, we cut ourselves off. We just completely stop ourselves. And really, that's just a belief system. And it's a belief system that can be shifted. And it's probably deeper than you might realize, and that's okay. You peel through the layers, and the silent layers. This is another thing. The silent layers. The silent layers are dormant beliefs that are still taking up space. They are genetic, they're ancestral, they are from other times and places. You may pick them up from the land. You could have carried it over from a past life. It could be a trauma that your soul has not forgotten, or resolved. Actually, it's not a matter of forgotten, but more matter of resolution. So I'm peeling away those layers and learning to be able to recognize the silent ones is helpful. And, again, it's a journey. Let yourself go on the journey. Just show up. Just show up, dive in, get in the mud pit. And we're not slinging mud on anybody else. But what we're doing is we're getting in there and we're letting ourselves get dirty and not worrying about the dirt. because really one of the greatest things for your health is to get out and get in the dirt. I mean, physically speaking, getting out there and getting in the dirt, reasonably so, is healthy for you. And so is allowing yourself to get in and get real with who you are and allow those feelings to get messy and clean it up. And it's all just part of life. Our soul requires that we get real and get raw with ourselves and shift and change and move and become our authentic sacred selves, because that's what we're here to do, or at least part of what we're here to do. So, checking back in. I said, nope, that's it. That's it. We're good. So I want to thank you for hanging out with me for these few minutes. I don't really know how long this is at this point, so I'm happy if you're still here watching to this extent. So if you are interested in learning more about belief systems, if you would like to be able to shift and change those, that is the work that I do in healing sessions. So healing sessions, we dig in, you bring the issues that are with you, that you're dealing with, and we dig in and see what the roots are, or go as far down into the depths as we can and start doing the healing and the changing from there. And it makes a huge difference. I mean, sometimes I have watched clients change how they think in the middle of a session, and it's really cool. So this is really cool work. It can go really quickly. It can take a while for things to process. It depends on each individual. So you can check those out at awakentheinnerlight.com and go to the Work with Katie tab. Or if you are on the blog, which is Coffee with the Angels, you can scroll to the bottom of the blog post and you'll see graphics and links there. I also do intuitive readings. So if you're really just interested in checking things out and what might be going on, see what's coming up for you based on the trajectory of where you are in this moment, we can do that. We can also consult with guides, with angels, with ancestors. Intuitive readings, the way I do them, you bring your questions and get the answers. I connect in with the all that is, and then sometimes I get the answers come directly from the all that is. Sometimes angels will show up, sometimes ancestors will show up. And so it varies. But so far, they've been pretty accurate. So anyway, that's what I do. That's what I offer. I'm also hearing to tell you that I do offer house clearings and space clearing. And I do that remotely, just like I do everything else. Unless you're in the Greensboro area. If you're in Greensboro, Durham, Winston-Salem area, I absolutely can physically come to your place and do cleanings, energy clearings. And so if not, I can absolutely do that from a distance. So then a clearing like that is what we do, is we clear the space, we set a pyramid of light that is of protection, of love, of abundance and prosperity and healthy relationships. Whatever you want to program that pyramid with, we can do. And so that is another service that I offer. It is not on the website yet. So if that's something you'd want, you just need to drop me a message. You can use the pop-up box on my website, awakentheinnerlight.com, to leave me a message. Or you can comment here. So anyway, I'm just checking in again. And it feels like we have come to a close. So I hope you have found value in today's message. Again, check out Coffee with the Angels, and you can get the text. The title of this one is Show Up and Get Dirty. So I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.